to another awesome community group. We're going to jump right into the Word, and on Sunday, we preached through James 1, 19 through 27. So before we even get started, why don't you read that as a group? Again, James 1, 19 through 27. Do it now. Sunday's message was called Blessed in Doing. And as you saw, as you read through that, James is super clear that we're not just to talk about it or just listen to it, but to be about living out this new life unto Christ. And so as he talks about Christian living, he has a lot of directives. Like, this is what you're supposed to do. Now do it. So my first question has to do with verse 19. How do you do with prioritizing the understanding of others instead of fighting for them to understand you? It said there to be quick to listen, slow to speak. And so part of that is you just being quiet to hear. And so again, how do you do with prioritizing the understanding of others instead of fighting for them to understand you? Talk about it now. James continues on and is super clear that we should not merely listen to the word and deceive ourselves, but do what it says. It goes on to talk about what it's like to listen and not apply. And then when he speaks about the one that does listen and put it into action, he says we're blessed in doing those things. And when he talks about it, he says you look and then you continue in it and you do not forget and then you do it. And so with the continue in it of being in the word, my question for you is, do you have a plan to continue in the Word? And so if you do, what is that plan? And if you don't, what's stopping you? Talk about it. Speaking of being blessed in the doing, in what area of your life have you seen being blessed in what you do personally? So is there something that you've been obedient to God in, that's a clear directive in Scripture, and you've seen being blessed in the doing of that? And how did that happen? So go ahead and talk about it. So we're going to jump back up to verse 22, and he says, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. And so we're deceiving ourselves to listen and not do. And so the question is, in what way have you deceived yourself? And now you're ready to change that by taking action. So in what way have you seen or heard the clear teaching of Scripture, of Christian living, what's that supposed to look like, and you deceived yourself by not putting it into action, but now you're ready to change that by doing it? Talk about that when you're done. Why don't you pray for each other? A lot of us are going to be trying to walk out these things that God calls us to do, and that takes courage. And so pray for any prayer requests you have, but also just pray that you would be empowered by God's Spirit to look more like the Son, Jesus Christ. We can't do any of it without God working in and through us. And so I'm believing with you also. Pray for each other, and I'll see you next Sunday.